Mr. President, Obama and Clinton, Cronkite families, many friends. When the space age was born, the story of space flight was often told by the voices of those who reported it as much as those of us who flew. Walter Cronkite, along with Jules Bergman and Roy Neal, told those stories with distinction and clarity, often connecting viewers in ways astronauts and engineers couldn't. Flight after flight, Walter was there as a comforting presence when the mission was a success. And on those painful times when failure came calling, he talked us all through it all. As each of our missions gained new discoveries and new leadership for America in the great race with Russian adversaries. When Neil and I landed on the moon, Walter told viewers every step of our flight, explaining each procedure so that the watching world knew exactly what was coming next. With his usual insight, context, and color, he made voyages to the moon very real for the average American. Such journalism takes not just skill and experience, but passion. Storytelling was Walter Cronkite's passion, just as flying in space was mine. Each of us has a special, unique story of Walter. One of my favorites is the time when Lois and I visited the Greek island of Rhodes in the summer of 1987. We strolled down a deserted street in a small village. The only other person there was walking towards us, and as we passed each other, we both paused and looked back at the other. "Walter, is that you?" I asked, and Walter said, "Buzz, is that you?" I introduced him to Lois, and he told him we were engaged to be married. When I told him our wedding date was Valentine's Day, he chuckled and said, "Buzz, I didn't realize you were so romantic." Whereupon Lois spoke up and said, "Walter, he's been on the moon. Of course he's romantic." Of all the places to run into the anchorman of the CBS Evening News, whose 20 years before, with barely concealed emotion and a tear in his eye, described our landing on the moon 40 years ago, this July 20th. In quarantine aboard the aircraft carrier Hornet, the flight surgeon showed us the TV videos from around the world cheering on our landing, including Walter's speechless with glasses on his brow. I patted Neil on the shoulder and pointed up at the view and said, "Neil, we missed the whole thing." Of course, we were out of town. The story of those pioneering flights, Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, and the robot probes that touched the surface of other worlds came alive in the broadcasts of Walter Cronkite. I was proud to call him a friend. We especially enjoyed a special dinner for Lois and me, with Walter and Betsy at their home in Martha's Vineyard. In addition to his passion for sailing, our legacy in space was his calling too. All of us who flew in space are grateful for Walter Cronkite's belief in science, his dedication to the story, and his commanding presence that made every step in space exciting for Americans of every age. And that's the way it was, Walter, and always will be.